What is going on, guys? Hockey season is back. I mean, really, it's been that fast? Yeah. The off season, quick as lightning. It's really flown by, and well, hockey is back, so that means I got to talk a few things about them before the season begins. Like anything, I don't go game by game. I wish I had that time, and that. Yeah, I wish I could make a career like that, but no. The hockey is what it is. There's a lot to talk about. The Sharks coming off a Stanley Cup Finals appearance, usually that means you go backward. Typically, when you go that far, you don't come back and win. I know you're going to throw out the Penguins. You're gonna give me the Pittsburgh Penguins the year that they lost to Detroit and all that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You can. But usually, when you go that far, you're going to take a step backwards. More times than not. I think the Sharks really they didn't make a lot of changes, but also they couldn't make a lot of changes based on their cap situation and all that. They obviously let a few of those rentals go. They let a few things. Yeah, they let a few guys go. Obviously, backup goalie is going to be the other interesting thing when the time comes, because I don't think they have a backup goalie, but still have to be from within. The Sharks really made only two big signings, or they weren't really big either, but they were the two signings that mattered. Michael Bodker, forward, a really nice depth forward. I actually like that signing. And really, when you look at the cap inflation, $4 million a year isn't that much. It's usually a second liner, someone who's a depth signing, so it makes a lot of sense. Hopefully, this all pans out. On paper, I like what I've seen. The numbers don't tell the story when I look at the tape. Then the other one is David Schlemko. He's your third pairing defenseman. Really a cheap signing, but it's a 4-year contract. That's the only thing that may bother me. I hope it doesn't become ugly. But the good thing is they didn't try to sign these enforcers or guys that I don't like. There are some. I remember the Sharks tried to do that a couple of years ago, and we all know how that worked out. So, yeah, the Sharks picked up some minor, they weren't minor signings, but they weren't the biggest signings. They are contributors, to say the least. So where will the Sharks go from here? Well, you expect Martin Jones to carry the team. You expect the same guys up front to carry them, from Joe Pavelski to Logan Couture, Patrick Marleau, Joe Thornton, all those guys. You expect a lot out of them, and even of course Brent Burns. But the biggest question mark will happen either before, maybe during the season, or at the trade deadline, and that's, does Doug Wilson go for it all or sell towards the future? There's the big dilemma of what happens to Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau. We don't know. Do they sell and move towards the future, or do they try to go all in on this year? Are they going to just sell their farm and do everything to try to win the cup and go for it all? I don't know. I mean, nobody else knows. Only Doug Wilson is going to know about that situation. I expect the Sharks to make the postseason at minimum. They haven't lost any talent. They only lost a handful of rentals, and they are going to be keeping most of those guys. Most of that core is set. They just obviously no injuries. You don't want some brutal injuries to derail your season. You saw what the Habs did when Carey Price was lost. You saw that. So the Sharks, yeah, I don't know what to think about them. I think they should make the postseason at minimum. That's the one thing that they should do, and that's really the goal at this point, just to get in. I mean, regular season wins and records, we know what that's like. We don't need to have the 1 seed. You just got to get in and let the process play itself out. There, you have to face teams, and you got to beat them anyway. So get in and see what happens after that. Guys like Jonas Donskoy, I hope to see that guy continue to emerge. Some already are making him one of the next greater passers. I think the Sharks do a pretty good job with forwards. So that's the other thing that's very interesting. I like what he brought to the team last year, and that's why they made the postseason. He was a big player on the bottom 6. I was entertained by that. So Doug Wilson, I just wonder what he's going to do. Is he going to make some minor pickups to try to complement the team like last year? He made like 1 or 2 trades that were kind of so-so, or is he going to just go for it all? Is he going to make a move like Brian Campbell, for example? Is he going to make those kind of trades? I don't know. We're only going to have to wait and find out. Personally, I would give Marleau and Thornton Go give them to a team that wants to win and all that. I would easily build towards the long term. I think that's more important. Some say you got to win now and always try to win now, but I think they're at the point where you got to think towards the future. And it's sentimental. I understand that, the whole Thornton and Marlowe thing, especially Marlowe having his whole career in a Sharks uniform. I mean, yeah, it would suck to see him somewhere else, but I think it's for the better of the team if they trade him to a contender and trade him to a team that is on a run. They need to get something back rather than nothing back in free agency. I don't want to hold on to these guys too long and then it's going to cost the team later. Yeah, it's very clear during last postseason that the torch was passed to Pavelski and Couture. That has been the focus the last 2 years. I mean, you saw even the Sharks marketing department, and when they were buying merchandise, you saw they were careful not to buy Marlowe and Thornton stuff, just in case they get traded. There was a lot less than the years before. So, and I remember the posters showed the posters would show Pavelski and Couture. So, no, this team should be built around them and towards the long run. By the way, congrats to Team Canada in the Hockey World Cup. I mean, that competition was a joke for the States. I just wanted to cry and laugh just how bad that was, but it is what it is. Yeah, I will talk mid-season or if anything significant comes up, but I expect this team to make the postseason, and we'll see what goes on from here. I mean, I liked especially that pickup of Joe Ward a year ago, so we'll see what happens. Go Sharks. Let me know what y'all think of this season. But yeah, the big dilemma will be what happens to Thornton and Marlowe. We don't know what happens. They have that no movement clause and all that. We'll see you guys later.